Hey there, my friend. Let's talk about something that's been true since the dawn of time. Something that makes hearts race, pulses quicken, and eyes linger just a little longer. Mystery. Yeah, I'm talking about that magnetic pull that makes her lean in, curious, wondering, obsessed with figuring you out, you see. When it comes to attraction, being an open book laying, all your cards on the table can feel safe. It's what we're taught. Be honest. Be upfront. Tell her everything. But here's the secret no one tells you. Too much honesty, too soon, kills intrigue. When you reveal every detail of your life, your dreams, your favorite, pizza, Toppinch has got nothing left to chase. No puzzle to solve, no spark to ignite. This isn't about playing games or being someone you're not. It's about understanding the art of attraction. It's about holding back just enough to keep her curious to make her think about you when you're not around. Because here's the truth. Women aren't obsessed with men who are predictable. They're drawn to men who feel like a story unfolding, one they can't wait to read. So buckle up. We're diving into why being a little mysterious strategically, authentically can make her obsess over you. We'll break down the psychology, the do's and don'ts, and the practical steps to become the kind of man she can't stop thinking about. Ready? Let's get started. Let's start with why this works. Why does mystery make her tick? It's not just some dating trick, it's hardwired into our brains. Think about it. Humans are curious creatures. We're drawn to the unknown, too. Things we can't fully grasp. It's why we binge-watch shows with plot twists. Why we can't resist a good riddle when it comes to attraction. That curiosity is rocket fuel. Psychologists call this the information gap theory. When there's a gap between what we know and what we want to know, our brains go into overdrive. We obsess, we chase, and when it comes to romance, that gap is what keeps her coming back for more. If you tell her your entire life story on the first day, to her childhood dog, it's your high school prom, your 5-year plan, you've closed that gap. She's got the whole picture. And guess what? She's probably already looking at her phone, but when you hold back not out of secrecy, but out of confidence, you create space for her imagination to run wild. She starts wondering, who is this guy? What's he thinking? It's behind that smile. It's when she's hooked. Here's a quick example. Imagine you're on a date, and she asks, "So what do you do for fun?" Instead of rattling off a list. "Oh, I play video games, watch Netflix, go hiking, the usual. Try this." "Well, I've got a few passions, but I'm curious, what's your idea of a perfect weekend?" Boom, you've deflected with charm, kept her guessing, and turned the focus back on her. She's intrigued, and now she's invested in finding out more. This isn't about being aloof or cold. It's about pacing yourself. Think of yourself as a great novel knot, a Wikipedia page. You don't give away the ending in the first chapter. You let her turn the pages bit by bit, dying to know what happens next. So that's the why. Mystery works because it taps into her curiosity, her desire to discover. But how do you do it without coming off as distant or fake? That's what we're diving into next, all right? Let's get practical. Being mysterious doesn't mean you're James Bond, brooding in a corner with a martini. It's about being unpredictable in a way that feels authentic. It's about showing her layers, depth that she didn't expect. Here's how you do it. First, master the art of selective sharing. You don't have to hide who you are, just don't spill your entire life story in one go. Let's say she asks about your job. Instead of a boring rundown of your 9-to-5, give her a glimpse that sparks curiosity. Try this. "I work in your field, but the real fun starts when I'm off the clock. I've got this one project I'm obsessed with. Maybe I'll tell you about it later." That tease, it's gold. She's already imagining what that project might be. Second, embrace spontaneity. Predictable guys do predictable things. Dinner dates, movie nights, the same old routine. Break the mold. Suggest a random adventure, an impromptu drive to a hidden cafe, a late-night stargazing session. Not every date, but just enough to keep her guessing. I knew a guy who took a girl to a pottery class on their second date. She had no idea he was into it, and she spent the whole night trying to figure out where that came from. That's intrigue. Third, don't always be available. This one's tricky, so listen up. I'm not saying ghost her or play hard to get that. childish. But a man with a full life, with passions and priorities, is naturally less available. If you're always texting back in 2 seconds, always free for a call, she'll assume you've got nothing else going on. Instead, let her feel like she's earning your time. Respond thoughtfully, but not instantly. Have nights where you're busy pursuing your goals. It shows you're a man with depth. Here's a pro tip. When you do share something personal, make it count. Maybe after a few dates, you let her in on a small, meaningful story, like a moment that shaped who you are. But don't over-explain. Let her connect the dots. That balance of revealing and holding back. It's like catnip for attraction. Now let's talk about something deeper. Mystery isn't just about what you say, it's about how you feel. Women are drawn to men who have emotional depth, who aren't afraid to feel but don't wear their heart on their sleeve. This is where you show her you're more than just a charming guyer, a man with substance. Start by listening, listening. When she talks, don't just nod and wait for your turn. Ask questions that show you're paying attention. If she mentions a tough day at work, don't jump in with your own story. Try this. That sounds intense. What's the toughest part about it for you? You're inviting her to open up, and that creates a connection. But here's the key. Don't overshare in return. If she asks about your tough days, give her a glimpse, not a novel. I've had my share of rough moments. Let's just say I've learned to keep going. It's that hint of resilience. It's magnetic. Another way to show depth is through your passions. A man who's passionate about his work, his hobbies, his values, has a fire that draws people in. But don't lecture her about your stamp collection or your gym routine. Instead, let her see your passion in action. If you love music, play her a song that moves you and watch her reaction. If you're into hiking, take her on a trail and let her feel your energy. Actions reveal more than words ever could. And here's a big one. Don't be afraid of silence. Seriously, a confident man is comfortable with a moment of quiet. It shows you're not desperate to fill the space, that you're secure in yourself. Next time there's a lull in the conversation, don't rush to break it. Just smile, hold her gaze, and let the moment breathe. She'll feel the weight of it tanned. She'll be hooked. All right, let's talk about what not to do. Mystery is powerful, but it's easy to mess up if you're not careful. Here are the big traps to avoid. First, don't confuse mystery with being distant. If you're too aloof, never texting, never sharing, she think you're not interested. Mystery is about pacing, not disappearing. Stay engaged, but keep some cards close to your chest. Second, don't lie or exaggerate to seem mysterious. That's a one-way ticket to getting caught and losing her trust. You don't need to pretend you're a secret agent. Your real life, when shared thoughtfully, is intriguing enough. Third, avoid overdoing the charm. If you're always dodging questions with a smirk or a witty line, you'll come off as slippery. Balance it with sincerity. Let her see the real yous, just not all at once. And finally, don't make it all about you. Mystery works because it invites her to engage, to chase, to invest. If you're too focused on being mysterious, you'll forget to make her feel special. Ask about her dreams, her fears, her quirks. Show her you're curious about her story. That's what builds a real connection. So how do you bring this all together? How do you become the man she can't stop thinking about? It starts with confidence. Not arrogance, but the quiet belief that you're enough, just as you are. Mystery isn't about hiding flaws. It's about owning who you are and revealing it strategically. Here's a game plan. Step 1. Build a life you're proud of. Pursue your passions. Chase your goals. Surround yourself with good people. A man with a full life is naturally intriguing because he's not desperate for her attention. Step 2. Practice restraint. Next time you're tempted to overshare, whether it's on a date or in a text pause, ask yourself, does this add to the intrigue, or does it give too much away? Share enough to keep her interested, but leave room for her imagination. Step 3. Be present. When you're with her, put the phone down. Look her in the eyes. Let her feel like she's the only person in the room. That kind of focus is rare and it's powerful. And step 4. Keep evolving. The most intriguing men are the ones who never stop growing. Read books, try new things, challenge yourself. The more you grow, the more layers you have to reveal, and the more she'll want to discover. Here's a final story to tie it all together. I knew a guy, let's call him Mike, who was great on paper, but struggled with dating. He'd overshare. On first dates, trying to impress. One day he decided to try this approach. He started listening more, sharing less, and letting his actions speak. On a date, instead of talking about his job, he took her to a jazz bar he loved and just let the music set the vibe. By the end of the night, she was asking him questions, trying to figure him out. A month later, she was still texting him, still curious, still obsessed.